Hey, it's your host, Michaela DeSue, and welcome to Being My Own Friend, a podcast where we'll learn ourselves, love ourselves, but most importantly, be our own friend. So this first episode is just going to be like a little trailer, a little get to know me, explaining to you all how I came up with the name, why I chose the name, and all around why I decided to start a podcast. So first with me, the host, like I said, my name is Michaela DeSue. I am 24 years old. I am an HBCU graduate. I actually graduated from Winston-Salem State University in December of 2021. Graduated in 3 years, and that's a whole story because I started at one college, then I dropped out, and I went back, but we'll get into all that on a whole nother episode. So currently, I'm working a job right now. I'm trying to figure out my life because bills are due, so we have to have a job. But I know the space that I'm in right now is not somewhere that I would like to stay, but we're working on that. So now that kind of helps me getting to why I wanted to start this podcast and how I actually came up with the name. So, like I said, we chose the name Being My Own Friend. I chose that name because I've been wanting to start a podcast for a while now, probably about 6 months to a year. I have been talking to people around me about it. They have been helping me brainstorm names and come up with different ideas. And I got to the point where I had a lot of episode ideas laid out, and I actually had came up with a podcast name. This was probably a couple months ago. I came up with the name that I really want to go with. I had made designs, I had made logos. I had started telling a few people really close to me about it, and it just wasn't giving what I wanted it to give. It wasn't explaining what I wanted this podcast to be about, and it wasn't connecting to me. It wasn't like I heard the name and I was like, yeah, that's what I want to name it. Because I know I can be that person who starts something with one name and then a couple months later I end up wanting to change it. And I really want to be more consistent with this, so I decided to stop, sit down, relax, go on my little notebook, write down a lot of different names, and go about my life and see if the name ever just, came to me in my day-to-day life. So one day, about a month or so ago, I was talking to somebody close to me, and I was like, I don't really hang out with that many people. I really just go to work, come home, go to work, come home, which that doesn't usually bother me, and it's not really bothering me right now. It's just that it helped me realize that I want to start this podcast because I want to talk. I talk a lot, mainly to myself, mainly out loud, and I don't really need anybody else to carry on a conversation with. Most of the time, I prefer to be by myself anyways. So since I don't have that many, I guess you can say friends or people to hang out with or go on little outings with, I decided that I just needed to learn to be my own friend. And I feel like it's the same for a lot of people around me and around my age. I think that's something that we really need to start focusing on. And quite frankly, that conversation is what led me to coming up with the name that I chose, Being My Own Friend. I wanted this podcast to be a space where I can learn to be my own friend, and hopefully I can help other people out there around me learn to be their own friend as well. So yeah, that's pretty much wraps up this episode. I didn't want it to be too long. I just want it to be a comfortable space where we can get to know each other a little bit. So if you like what you're hearing, or if you want to hear more, or if you just like hearing your girl talk, stay tuned. I plan on coming out with a lot more episodes, staying consistent, and I'm not sure right now what my posting schedule is going to be, but just know there's going to be more coming. So if you want to keep up with things, I made a social media account. My regular social media is Michaela DeSue on all platforms. As far as the podcast, I did make only an Instagram so far. You can either search BMOF or Being My Own Friend. I'm going to try to upload little clips of every podcast on there, but as of right now, we just have the Instagram page, and we may expand out and have more. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you back next time. Bye!